In a democracy, power is meant to be shared through institutions, checks and balances, and the will of the people. But what happens when a leader challenges that foundation? In this video, we're going to explore some of the tactics Donald Trump has used that critics argue threaten democratic norms, and how these tactics compare to other moments in history where democracy was put to the test. One of the cornerstones of democracy is trust in elections, in institutions, and in the peaceful transfer of power. Donald Trump repeatedly cast doubt on the legitimacy of the electoral process, both in 2016 and more aggressively in 2020. Before a single vote was cast in the 2020 election, he claimed the system was rigged. After losing, he refused to concede and instead promoted the idea that the election was stolen. This isn't just political theater, it erodes public confidence. According to Pew Research, more than 2/3 of Republican voters believe the 2020 election was fraudulent, despite a lack of evidence and over 60 court cases rejecting those claims.
A functioning democracy depends on strong, independent institutions. Trump often labeled the FBI, the Department of Justice, and even the courts as corrupt when they didn't align with his goals. He referred to the media as the enemy of the people, a phrase historically used by authoritarian regimes to discredit independent journalism. Critics argue that this tactic, delegitimizing watchdog institutions, is a hallmark of authoritarian leadership. The aim? To ensure that only the leader's version of truth is accepted. Donald Trump has cultivated a deeply loyal base through populist rhetoric, painting himself as the only one who can fix the system and portraying opponents as enemies of the people. This populist style isn't new. Leaders throughout history have used it to bypass institutions by appealing directly to the public, often invoking fear of elites, immigrants, or outsiders to galvanize support. This personality-driven politics often discourages compromise, which is essential in a democracy, and instead fosters division. While it's important not to make extreme comparisons lightly, history provides lessons. In the 1930s, several democracies, like Weimar Germany, collapsed not overnight, but through the gradual erosion of democratic norms. Leaders didn't always abolish democracy outright. They weakened it from within, by undermining institutions, controlling narratives, and turning public distrust into a weapon. The tactics may vary, but the pattern is familiar. Distrust the media. Discredit elections. Attack independent oversight. Elevate loyalty over law. Sound familiar?
On January 6, 2021, the world watched as the U.S. Capitol was stormed in an attempt to stop the certification of an election. The violence was shocking, but equally alarming was the context. A sitting president had spent months fueling the belief that the election was illegitimate. Many believe that Trump incited an insurrection, an attempted coup. Others are still debating, but the event marked a dangerous moment where political rhetoric crossed into real-world violence.
Despite these challenges, many institutions held firm. Judges rejected false claims. Election officials certified results under pressure. Journalists continued to report the truth. But democracy isn't automatic. It requires active participation, a shared respect for rules, and a commitment to facts. You don't have to love or hate Trump to ask hard questions about how his tactics have impacted democracy. This isn't just about one man. It's about a system we all rely on. Don't let history repeat itself. The future democracy depends not just on leaders, but on the people, on all of us. Put pressure on mainstream media by not watching to send the message that they need to report the truth and not bury what Trump and his administration are doing. Maybe they'll become journalists again if the ratings drop. Stop spending money with companies that are supporting Trump, lobbying for huge tax breaks, and gouging us on prices. When their profits drop, maybe they'll rethink their support. If you found this video thought-provoking, give it a like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.